Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Conceptual Models, Socratic Dialogue. Conceptual model plays a huge role when it comes to business operations. Is conceptual model just limited to physics or mathematics, or it affects us all? Generally, we think of conceptual model as a model of our thought process, but what exactly it is? Let's discuss this further in our Socratic Dialogue session. I would request the teams to go forward with your introductions. Teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, we are Team Socrates and we have named ourselves Team Socrates because that is our actual pitch. And my name is Brajesh Pratap Singh and I've been working in Deep Thought since last 3 months as a full stack developer. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hello
Brajesh.
everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Shrija and I'm from Team Socrates and I've been working at Deep Thought for like the past 4 months as a content writer and a programmer. Thank you.
I'm Srilakshmi. I'm from Team Socrates. So I am working as a I'm working on the role developer in residence for Deep Thought. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Hi everyone. I am Mitali and I'm from Team of Craft and I work as an organizational psychologist aiming to solve different problems within the organization and Deep Thought.
Hello everyone, my name is Angie. I work as a Python developer intern in Deep Thought and I'm from Team Creative Craft.
Hi everyone, I'm Renda. I'm from Team Creative Craft and data scientist working for 3 months in Deep Thought. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Anshika Garg. I am working as a UI designer in Deep Thought and my role is to make intuitive designs that you see on the applications of Deep Thought, and I've been working for around 1.5 months here and I will be co-moderating the Socratic Dialogue.
Hinglaj here. I'm working as a growth hacker at Deep Thought, and today I'll be the moderator for the Socratic Dialogues. Team Socrates, why did you choose this name? Like, why?
Yeah, so we chose this name because our model is based around Socratic dialogue itself. So that is why we have named ourselves Team Socrates.
Okay, so today's Socratic dialogues will be on conceptual model, and you chose teams you chose Socratic dialogues only. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Team 2, can you please go ahead with why you chose this name?
Okay, so we chose this name because in our model, we are creating something as well as crafting something. So that's why this name, Creative Craft.
So let's go ahead. Just to remind you that you would all have 2 to 3 minutes to complete your pitch. And then there will be a questionnaire round where a Socrative round when everyone will ask questions regarding your pitch. So I'll start my timer and I hope everyone is clear with this. So which team would like to go ahead first?
We are going first. Team Creative Craft.
Great. Team Creative Craft, all the best.
Okay, we are from Team Creative Craft.
Rahmat, can you please bring your mic towards you a little bit more?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are Team Creative Craft and I'm Rehmat and my teammates are Mitali and Andrew and our coach is Hinglaj. So first our topic is conceptual model. Before going to conceptual model, we need to know what is a concept. It is an abstract idea, and conceptual model, it is a model based on an abstract idea.
So come to the concept that we wish to build a model that is sustainability, and it's all about taking care of our planet and its future. It means making choices today that won't harm the environment or use up resources needed for tomorrow as well. And coming to the conceptual model, like imagine a platform where the discarded and forgotten garments of yesterday find a new life and purpose. Our vision, our model revolves around a collecting and acquiring a lightly worn or unworn clothes items and breathing a new creativity into them and giving them a second chance to live.
Now talking about the applications of our model. So from our model, we can create a brand of honor which will promote sustainability. And the second application would be content creation, through which we promote our sustainable practices and inspire others to maybe adopt the same techniques as we are doing. And then also collaborate with certain companies which promote sustainability. So these are some of the applications that we can have. So the conclusion of our model would be to promote sustainability with a blend of creativity. So that was our pitch, and we would be open to take your question.
You're on mute.
Thank you, Anjika. So Team Socrates, please go ahead with your questions.
So how it is going to sustainability? Like how is going to sustain? How this model is going to sustain?
Okay, just to clarify the question, are you asking how are we using the concept of sustainability in our model?
Yes.
Okay, so what is sustainability? Basically, using resources in an adequate manner and also considering the needs of the future generation. So in our model, we use some very unworn or less worn clothes by people, and then we create something new out of it. So here we are not taking something new, we are not buying something new, we are instead creating something new out of something which was not very much used to save the resources.
Okay, I have a follow-up. What is the concept? Can you elaborate more on the concept that your conceptual model is based on?
Okay, our conceptual model is based on the concept sustainability. And sustainability basically refers to using resources in an adequate amount so that we can preserve resources for our future generation as well. So that is the concept on which our model is based.
Okay, and can you elaborate more on the model as well?
Okay, so as Zarin has mentioned that we are using those clothes which is not worn many times, but it is also already kept on the wardrobe of the people. So what we'll do that we will take that clothes and we will do some creativity on that and we will sell them to those who are needy and we will those who need that clothes in a very affordable price. That's
Okay.
our model works.
Okay, I have a follow-up. How does this model of yours helps us to understand the definition of conceptual model?
Okay, can you specify your question a bit? What do you mean by conceptual model?
I mean, you defined concept and conceptual model in your slides, the very first slide, right? So how does your model verifies that definition?
Okay, as I mentioned previously, if you go with our definition of what is a conceptual model, we described a conceptual model is something which is based on a concept. So our model, as you saw, is based on the concept of sustainability as it is promoting reusability.
Okay, so according to you, a conceptual model is something that is based on a concept. That's it.
I have a few questions.
Yeah, Shrija.
So Shrija, it's the question is the follow-up question of this part, or it's an entirely new question?
Not entirely, it's a follow-up on Sri Lakshmi's questions.
Okay, so let's just complete Prajesh's follow-up question, then come back to you.
Yeah,
Works?
sure.
Okay. So Prajesh, you had a follow-up question, right?
Yeah. Like more onto this conceptual model. Like if we talk about conceptual model, it is like an abstract idea of something. Like for example, a concept is an abstract idea. and your abstract idea is sustainability. And the model that you're introducing, how is that like letting me understand more about conceptual model?
So I think
So,
Prajesh, it's yeah, Andri, okay. Okay, so Prajesh, I think they already mentioned that, the concept is sustainability and the model is upon, exchanging of clothes, right? Their model is based upon by exchanging their clothes. I think they are working on the sustainability point. Now,
Okay.
does this make sense?
I mean, yeah, it does, but like if we talk about conceptual model, there are more other parameters as well. For example, there are certain patterns that you might have observed when you came up with this model. Or is this model helping me to make any predictions? So if you could give some
So,
insights on that.
Prajesh, let's go step by step. Let's first go with the patterns and then we can go ahead with the, predictions.
Yeah, sure.
so as you mentioned, the patterns. So pattern we are following in the model that, as you can also see, that the first pattern what we are buying the clothes that is not used by the people, and we are creating some of them. Second part, and the third is we are selling the people who need. There's a pattern that we are buying, we are making on something usable to the people who are in need, and we are giving them. That's the pattern we follow. And the question you have arises of the prediction. So yeah, we get the feedback for the users as well, that what they are liking it. And if they are liking our pattern, if they are liking, then we are making a more, going to the future scope of that model as well. That's how the pattern works in our model.
Okay, yeah. Does anyone have a follow-up?
So I have a follow-up, right? You have this model, right? But why would anybody want to use this model of, reusing clothes if they have the option of buying new clothes? Why would somebody use this?
Just a clarification question. Moderator, please correct me if I'm wrong. How is this question related to us explaining our conceptual model?
Because we in our pitch we are talking about the applications, right? So I would want you to like clarify as to why would people apply what your model says, right?
So, Anjika, again, that let's discuss upon the QSD of the conceptual model, right?
Okay, I just felt it was relevant because it was there in our pitch, right? The applications. So we would want to
So,
validate.
are you asking about the applications of our model?
Yeah, like you guys told, right, that you will like in general people will be wearing what you are giving, right? So why would they wear what you are proposing?
Okay, okay, yeah, go ahead, and
Okay, so as you are mentioning, I agree with Mitali that is not very related to the creativity, but I would like to give you an answer that why people buy our thing, because first of all, it's creative. It's not made up of a very branded company or company that you can see or very used. Different types of clothes are often similarity, but we are the selling that is not similar to any of them. That's the first thing is creativity and unique as well. And second is that is affordable to the people. Mostly clothes, or if they want the clothes that is 2K plus, and if they're getting that same clothes with a more creativity in our platform, then why people don't buy it? So that's how we work.
Okay, that answers my question.
Thank you, Anjali. So, Shrija, you had a question.
Yeah. Nitali, you mentioned that you'll be taking unwanted clothes or less fun clothes and create something new. What do you mean by creating something new? Are you creating clothes out of those unwanted or less fun clothes, or are you preparing something else?
okay, as we mentioned in the slide, we will create something new, some new clothes with some new designs using those not so much worn clothes, less worn clothes, as well as we'll create some craft material, so which can be used anywhere, right? To in your homes or anywhere.
I have a separate question. You mentioned that you would be collaborating with other organizations. So, what are you promoting so that through your concept so that others will collaborate?
what we are promoting, as you might have seen in the last slide of our pitch, which is we are promoting sustainability, and it's not just sustainability, there's a blend of creativity. So we are promoting
Yes.
creativity as well as sustainability.
But how are you putting it to your other collaborators? Like, why would they choose sustainability over other things?
There are many stores like that stores and other platforms like many big platform also that they gives a hands on the sustainability as well, because in their mind, in our mind also, that fashion doesn't stop in only the prices. As sustainability, you can also get the fashion as well. So if we talk about our platform, we are not limited to the okay, this is costly only. Costly things are only good for us. No, sustainability is also a great point that we can do the same as in the fashion. That's the way we collaborate with other partnerships.
Shrija, you're not audible. Okay, this answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have any other follow-up question? Any other question or follow-up question? Okay, so I have a question. So regarding the conceptual model, with the patterns you mentioned, are there any other patterns you thought of? Are there any other patterns you saw previously creating this model? What were those? And after creating this model, the patterns you mentioned, but what about, are there any patterns before creating this model?
Yes, so we observed that people use there's a trend of fast fashion, right? So people just buy clothes and then they don't want to wear it so much. They don't want to wear it more than 2 or 3 times. So that's something we observed. And since we are promoting sustainability, we wanted to make best use of it. That's why we created our model based upon that. Did that answer your question, Raj?
Yeah.
I have a follow-up. So why do you think that people are so attracted by fast fashion?
How is that related to our model or conceptual model?
Because the pattern, right? If you're trying to understand why that pattern occurs, then you will be able to come up with a good concept, right? Like, why are people behaving like this? How, like, it relates to your pattern, right? And eventually your conceptual model.
Sorry, I don't think that would relate. But if you're asking that how people were getting over the trends, that it's upon them, because they see the basically youngsters, they see the upcoming trend and they want to be the part of it. But as they are youngsters, they don't know the worst is actually they are buying the clothes, but they're not using it because the trend was new trend had come up. So that's the if why people were doing is not our problem. Our problem is
Anjali,
that if the people
I think Angelika is saying that, what the pattern you mentioned that previously, can you elaborate a bit that how it is related to your, that how it is, can you elaborate a bit so that it can mention that how it is more related to your concept? If I'm right, Anjika, this is what you asked, right?
Yeah, kind of makes sense.
Okay.
so okay, so people first of all see that pattern that people buy the clothes. Okay, there are so many trends, that there are so many different types of clothes first in the market, and people want to buy, and they see in a creative way that okay, this is a good thing, and they want to buy it. If they when they buy it, the new train come and they don't want that clothes which they have bought 2 months before. So what we see that they didn't use that cloth which they have bought around of many years, and they kept that thing only. They're not using it, they're not throwing it, and not doing anything. So why don't we use that thing that is not of use of them as well? And it is new because they don't have used that thing much, many times. And we use that for with some of creativity and give to the people who actually want that cloth, and they want that some creativity as well, because our creativity doesn't comes in in trending. It's a very unique perspective. So that's how I do that.
Okay.
Is that answer?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, I want to start a new thread. So if we look at the concept of conceptual model, we can see it's more kind of a generic. Let me give you some examples. For example, if we talk about a business model, right? Um, Business model, it is applicable to all sorts of businesses, right? Then if we look at the atomic model, it is able to explain us about all the atoms that are in the universe, right? If we talk about ecology model or ecosystem model, then it basically tells us about the relations between the entities that exist in the ecosystem. So it gives us a kind of a generic perspective. So how is your conceptual model giving a generic perspective, or is it solely focused on one thing?
Can you please explain me this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I?
So
Can you
I
please
think
explain?
what Prajesh is trying to say that there are many type of business models, right? In generic terms, we can say that there is a business model, there is an atomic model. So what kind of model is yours? Am I right, Prajesh?
Yeah, like if we take a look at the business model, it is more of a generic. It gives those generic vibes, right? Like it is applicable to all the businesses that are there. Like using business model, you can understand the elements, patterns, and of all the. You can study every business using this business model. So, how is your model generic, or is it just solely focused on
Focused on like what?
individual, like
Okay.
individual entity, something?
Just one last clarification. Are you
Yeah.
asking how our model can be used in various domains?
Yeah, like I'll give you one more example. So there was the strategy followed by Hitler, blitzkrieg, which means attacking like lightning. So then there's this lightning, and then there is this technique can be used in a war. Then this technique can be also used in businesses. This technique can also be used in a cricket match, as we saw in Sri Lankan cricket. So we can see this strategy is kind of followed in a lot of other domains as well, and that basically makes it a model, conceptual model, let's say. So how is your like model applicable to other domains as well, or is it just about sustainability?
Okay. As we mentioned in the applications part, one of the point was we can create content based on our model, right? So it will inspire others to do the same. So through our model, it might inspire other people to create something new out of the things which have not been used very much in the past. So that is one of the applications. And Andre and Raymond, would you like to add anything?
I would add that many people buy the decorative things or other things, and when they have an updated version, they keep the old thing. So in that also we can use this pattern by giving it to someone other, recreating it, and giving the people who are needy, who want to decorate their room. So this pattern can be used in different domains also. I think it answers your question.
Yeah, that does answer my question. Thank you, guys.
So I think are there any? I don't think there are any. Are there any follow-up questions?
I have a question. Um, I would just like to answer that. Let me know. So, you guys chose the concept of sustainability, right? So, was there any reason for specifically choosing clothes? The concept of reusing clothes to improve sustainability in the world. Like there are many other concepts, like other conceptual models that could have been made, but was there any reasoning behind having this as your example for a conceptual model?
Okay.
Why we
Anjali, yeah, actually, I think Anjali, that's out of a course question that,
no
you know,
no no. I think
why?
we why we chose this model, why we chose clothes. I think we answered that already due to fast fashion and all, and people use clothes less. I guess so.
Okay, okay. So you basically chose fast fashion and then okay. Answer.
Any other question? Okay, so let's move ahead with other team. Team Socrates, you can start with sharing your screen with your pitch.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess my screen is visible.
Yes. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Hello everyone, we are Team Socrates. Our team members are Rajesh, Lakshmi, and Shuja. That's me. And our coach is Anjali.
Teacher,
So,
can you please bring your mic towards you a bit?
yeah, sure. Am I audible properly now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. So,
The slide relates to how we define concept and conceptual model. We define concept as an abstract idea or a general notion, and we define a conceptual model as a representation or mental framework that helps to explain, illustrate, or describe a particular concept. It's like a map that guides our thinking about a particular topic or system. Next slide, please.
Teacher, can you please speak a louder? Speak louder.
Will now English, am I audible now properly?
Yeah. You could have been a bit louder more. It will work perfectly.
Okay. So our concept around which we wish to build a model is Socratic data. It's for research-based learning. It's a powerful tool that fosters critical thinking, deep inquiry, and collaborative approach. Now our team member Rajesh will take further.
Yeah. Thank you, Srija. Okay, I'll take ahead. So I'll explain more about the conceptual model that are Socratic dialogue that we're using. So this Socratic dialogue, for example, we are having a Socratic dialogue at the moment, and we have two teams. So similarly, with using this model, we can have a student team and a teachers team, and we can have a constant questioning on a topic. And why Socratic dialogue is because it promotes critical thinking and a more comprehensive understanding of the subject. So, and this approach goes beyond surface level learning and empowers the student to delve more into the matter. So it is like you are kind of peeling through the layers of onion and trying to reach to the core of it, just like trying to understand a concept. I would like to elaborate a little more on the application of this model. So this model can be used in educational institutes and can be applied to online education platforms. And it can also be applied to learning and development programs in organizations. For example, our company Deep Thought uses this in the L&D as well. Yeah, Sri Lakshmi, you can conclude the session.
Thank you, Prajesh. Okay, coming to the conclusion, Socratic dialogue creates a dynamic and engaging learning environment conducive to research-based education. That means if we use Socratic dialogue in our educational institutes or in like organizations in the part of L&D, so we will deep dive into the concept so we can learn more uh, and we can get more insights from that. So thank you.
Team Creatocraft, you can go ahead with your questions.
So I have a question. You mentioned in your concept slide that the concept is Socratic dialogue for research-based learning. And in the conceptual framework slide, you mentioned Socratic dialogue as your model. Am I getting you right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how is Socratic dialogue is a model if you consider it as a concept?
Okay. So if we take a look at the like Socratic dialogue as a concept, how and Socratic dialogue can be used as a model as well. And why do I say that is because if you go to the very beginning of how what is Socratic dialogue, so there was Socrates and Greek philosopher Socrates, and he used to question around his disciples instead of telling them the answer of their question. So it basically was a strategy, and with the time, it emerged into a concept. So educational institutes and even organizations are using this strategy for their learning and development in their learning and development initiatives. Similarly, now this we can see a pattern here, right? Since people are using it because of its advantage, since it promotes critical thinking and it makes the uh, concept learning more engaging, right? So if we look at this pattern, so we can create a model around it. That is Socratic dialogue. Does that answer your question, Natali?
I mean, whatever you just explained sounded like a concept to me. So how is that a model?
I mean,
Yes.
since okay, so we can take a look at the definition of concept and conceptual model in order to understand it a little bit more. So if you take a look at like if we take a look at the concept, so the definition of concept, it is some abstract idea, okay, like you mentioned in your slides as well. Now conceptual model is something built over that conceptual idea, that is you are using and applying it somewhere, right? So Socratic dialogue, the definition of it could be considered as a concept, and then we're using it in different institutions and in L&D programs. It could be called as a, just the names are similar, but if we try to look at the yeah, if we try to look at the core of it, we can understand that how it is a concept and it is a conceptual model as well.
I hope Mitali, this answers your question. Okay, do we have any follow-up question from this thread?
Actually, I have that. Can you explain then how what specific aspects of ST are integrated into your model for learning, and how do they enhance the education experience?
Can you rephrase it a little?
I'm asking then how specific Socratic dialogue are integrating into your model for learning, and how do they enhance the educational perspective of students?
Anjali, can you please speak a little bit louder? Your voice is quite low.
Am I audible? Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah, now
Yeah.
you are.
Okay. So I'm asking that how Socratic dialogue are integrated into your model for learning, as well as how do they enhance the education experience for students and teachers as well.
Okay, so if we take a look at the advantages of Socratic dialogue, we can understand that Socratic dialogue promotes critical thinking and engaging experience. And like I said before, it is basically like you choose a concept and then you start questioning around that concept. And when you start questioning, the first of all, the discussion becomes engaging because all the team members are questioning around and trying to answer that questions, right? Then it promotes critical thinking because you are trying to think around that concept and you're trying to bring up different perspective around that concept. Now, these are a few of the advantages of what we are including into our model. Then, like I said, we will be having two teams. One side there will be students, and the one side there will be educators. So on one side there will be people who are already having in-depth knowledge of that concept, right? And on the other side we will be having people who are there to learn, right? So these educators will be questioning them in such a way so that those students will be trying to discover the answers themselves. So these are the few of the particulars that we are taking from Socratic dialogue into a model.
Then how would you make ensure active participation and engagement from students in online meeting?
In online meeting, like we can have this as an example, live Socratic dialogue we are having right now. We are having an like we can have moderators and co-moderators like we are having right now, so that they can make sure that the discussion is not going on tangent.
I would like to follow up on Prajesh's answer and mention since children, we can capture the attention when we make the conversation more engaging. Socratic dialogue, the dialogue itself becomes engaging as we ask questions and answer it as well. So as soon as the conversations of the dialogue is interesting, children will be more interested as it is, and they'll begin to participate.
So, any follow-up question regarding this or a new thread question?
I
Yeah,
have a
please go ahead, Mitali.
I have a new question if anyone doesn't have any follow-up. Yeah. So what is the strategy that your model of Socratic dialogue is developing?
Okay, so the strategy, right? Strategy is basically picking up a concept and asking questions around it, and until we reach to a until we reach to the core of that concept. This is the strategy in simple terms. Does that answer your question? Like, this was the strategy. So
Basically to ask questions until you reach to the depth.
yeah, until you answer all these questions and you reach a conclusion. So your discussion is not vague. Like, you have reached a conclusion. You have understood the concept that you chose.
Okay. How will you prevent people going into another direction using the Socratic dialogue? How will your model prevent that?
Okay, like you said, there will be moderators who will be moderating the session so that people do not go on tangent. Do we need more moderators for those moderators as well, so that they do not go on tangent?
How is that a tangential question?
I don't know. I'm asking you, like, do we need more moderators to moderate those moderators as well? No, right?
Okay. So
We'll
when
be
your
having
model
we'll be having workshops to explain to them what kind of questions they should ask and what kind of threads they should work on and what tangents are, because most of them won't have any ideas what tangents are. We'll explain it to them, and we hope that through the moderators, they won't go into any tangential paths.
Now, see, before also adding on to that, before having a Socratic dialogue, people will be having preparation, right? They'll be doing research around the topic because they're going to participate in Socratic dialogue. So that gives them a heads up of how not to go into tangents, right? Because they will be having some prior knowledge on the topic that they're going to discuss.
So, Mitali, does this make sense that around your question? Okay.
yes.
Any
And also-
follow-up questions? Yeah, Prajesh, go ahead.
Yeah. And also the difference between that prior knowledge and Socratic dialogue is, like, you are having the superficial knowledge while you are researching on the topic. And when you jump on this Socratic dialogue, you see different perspective of different people onto the same concept. So you get more insights around the topic.
Any follow-up question?
Actually, I have one question.
Yes, Andri.
So one of your slides, you have mentioned that about the pedagogical principles you have mentioned. Then how does it underline your model then? Can you please explain?
Yeah. You're asking that it is a pedagogical principle. Then how is it?
Yeah. Yeah,
how is
what
it?
is and how it is underlined in model, like how it actually based on that.
Okay,
What's
so
the role of that?
yeah, so just like a strategy, Socratic dialogue is a principle as well. And this, like I previously said about the strategy we are following. So Socratic dialogue uh, is a pedagogical principle. Like if you look at the subcategory, like if we divide what is pedagogy and what are pedagogical principles, we would find Socratic dialogue as one of the pedagogical principles. So we are trying to derive a model. Like I said, so we saw these patterns within these educational institutes. Like in educational institutes, there's more of rote learning being promoted, emphasized learning is being promoted. So which like makes the students not interested in the topic, and also they are less engaged into the topic that is being taught, right? But bringing this principle, Socratic dialogue, into the model enables us to bring that critical thinking aspect and that engagement aspect within those children.
Swendra, does this answer your question?
Somehow.
Any other follow-up question regarding?
So,
Creative plan?
is this the only observation you made on which you created this model of Socratic dialogue, that that educational institutes are promoting rote learning?
Yeah, and also like we talked about application of this Socratic dialogue within organizations, right, and businesses. So we can often see a problem of people having a zero alignment towards the uh, organization they are working for. So they are aligned. They might not be aligned towards the organization, right? So trying to understand that objective, like trying to have being on the same page as the organization's objectives, that's where this LND principle of Socratic dialogue can come into play. So that was also one of the thing that that was one of the pattern that we analyzed, and we decided to break that pattern using this Socratic dialogue technique.
Okay, I have one more question. What are the techniques you use to create this model of yours?
What are the techniques I used? English, you're on mute.
Thanks, Brijesh. So, Mitali, can you please get at how your question is related with the conceptual model, Socratic today, what we are having?
Yeah, so they are talking about their conceptual model, right? So I wanted to know, how did they develop their conceptual model?
Okay, so I'll explain in very generic terms. Like like if we are going to build any model, the pattern that we are following is, first of all, we look at a pattern. Okay, so like the pattern we observed of people having less engagement while learning, and they're more like focused on this emphasized learning or rote learning. So these were some of the patterns that we observed, and then we came up with this. We had this like this is a problem if we kind of look at that. And in order to solve that problem, we could have something that would integrate or inculcate this research-based mindset in those students, right? So then we came up with this idea of, we did a little research around it, and we tried to look for what are the pedagogical principles that we could use. And we came across this Socratic dialogue, and then we tried to understand how it can be fit to multiple situation or multiple domains, for example. Then, so this was the best suited that we could find, so that and then that is how we created a model.
So I have a follow-up
Okay,
question. Like,
go ahead, Remy.
yeah,
Is
you have
that a
mentioned
follow-up?
that, yeah, about the patterns in the observation.
Yeah.
So you have mentioned about the schooling and children's teachers one, how the LND of corporate or any employees? How what patterns or observation you have made in that?
Okay, so suppose you are given a new project to work upon from your team lead, right? And you do not ask them any questions, and you're like, okay, sir, I'll do this. Okay, ma'am, I'll do this. And then you go on doing research on your own. And then you, after a week, you come up with something, and then they're like, this is not what I wanted. Right? This might be a scenario, right? Now, what was the key thing that you missed here? Questioning, right? You
Yes.
did not ask them any question, right? So that is what we are bringing with this pedagogical principle. That is what we are trying to integrate in you, inculcate in you using this model. That is the power of questioning. Now, if you, yeah, like if
Follow
you,
up on Prajesh's
yeah,
follow up on Prajesh's answer. I would like to mention that in schools, since school children are also one of our target audiences, in schools, when you are explaining the topic, let's say, for example, we have been knowing since birth, since we started school, that the sky is blue. But that's what we've been told. Have you ever questioned the teachers at that age why the sky is blue? Never, right? But we have been told the sky is blue and we have just accepted that. That's what we are.
She's not.
Yeah.
okay, Srija's not audible. I'll elaborate onto that.
Yeah, please go ahead. Can you please complete a
Yeah.
statement that she was saying that, the sky is blue. Teacher taught us that, the sky is, so Shija is back. So Shija, can you please continue? You left, there was some network issue. Say, can you please continue when the teacher asked, the sky is blue? No one asked back that, why the sky is blue, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
Like, so most of us have not even asked why the sky is blue. We just took it as a fact, a universal fact that yes, the sky is blue. We never wanted to know the why. It's like Prajesh said that there are layers of onions here. We are going through layer by layer and coming to the core of the topic. Why is the sky blue? That's what the change of not asking questions and not understanding it, the topic, the concept as a whole, that change is what we're trying to bring.
Okay, I have a follow-up. For students, you gave an example that teachers and students will be, and they will question like in a way that they will get the answer by themselves. So in corporate, how we are going to implement that thing, which you gave in the school example?
Okay. So as
Okay.
Prajesh mentioned,
Yeah,
let's say you've been giving a, let's say you have been given a project. Thank you, Prajesh. But you don't ask how what the tone should be. Let's say you've been given a content to write. You don't ask what the tone should be, what emotion you are trying to portray.
Okay. So Prajesh, you can continue, like, what Shija was saying onto that.
Yeah, sure. So like she was giving an example of content writing. Suppose you are given a job to write a content over a certain topic. So without us asking any questions, you just went on doing the research on the topic. And like Shrija mentioned, you did not ask about what the tone of the topic should be or what is your target audience. Okay, so then you created something, however, it is not relevant to what your team did ask you to. So this is where you lacked in asking questions. Then again, I have another scenario. So when you join a company, right, you have those training sessions, right? So between those training sessions, what do you learn? You learn how that company works. What is their financial model? How are they? What products they are making? And according to your role, you are trying to you are trying to understand how your role will be benefiting them, right? What will your projects you will be working on? So this is where the questioning plays a major role, right? And I'll give you another scenario. Suppose you're a developer and you're working on some product, right? And you might ask yourself, why would I wanna like if you created an MVP, minimal viable product, and you are trying to productize it, and then if you have this Socratic dialogue principle inculcated in you, then you might be asking yourself, what features do I need to put in this? And when you ask that, and why do I need to put these features? So when you ask the why part, the how and what also get covers in that. And then you will be putting the features that will be more generating more revenue for the organization, right? So these were the few scenarios. I hope that gives you a sense of how software dialogue is applicable in organizations as well.
Thank you, Brajesh. So yeah, Rahmat, is there a follow-up question? Rahmat, you are on mute.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
So,
take this final question, and after that, let's go ahead with the reflections. Yes, Rahmat, please go ahead.
So, for teachers and students, there was a questioning which teachers give. In corporate, the manager doesn't question and gives a knowledge that the employee get to an conclusion, right? Does it make sense?
Why do you think the manager does not questions or does not? You guys do not have a questioning.
Because
Uh,
manager will tell the work what should be
Rahmat,
done.
I think we are going on tangents a bit. Like it
Okay.
depends person to person, right? It's a personal choices that to give answer or not. So I think this is a bit off tangent. It's a bit on tangent question. Do you have any other follow-up question?
No, that's
Okay, okay. Thank you, Rahmat. Then let's go ahead with the reflections. So yes, so please go ahead with the reflection. So who will going first?
Okay, I'll go ahead first. So after listening to the Socrates team speeches, I felt that how we need to be very clear with whatever we are listening so that we can form certain questions. So even for forming questions, you need to be very clear with every aspect or what they are trying to say, understand their perspective, and then ask questions regarding that. So that was my reflection.
Thank you, Mitali. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I would like to continue. So based on today's Socratic dialogue, I got to learn how the other team brought a concept of sustainability by reusing clothes. Now this could be applicable in a lot of other domains. So it would not just be reusing clothes. It could be reusing anything, right? So that was one of the learning that I took today, and yeah, thank you.
So, my reflection is that the same. I agree with the totally agree with Tali and Pratisha as well that whenever being an assumption is better than asking to the others. I just I just gave a clearance, got a clearance that while understanding by our own and fighting by our own thoughts, it's better to get to the answer of that question by asking and going through the root of the question.
Thank you, Anju. So going to the root of the question is important. Like till then, let's keep ask questions. Let's keep asking questions. So who's gonna go next?
Next. Audible.
Yeah, Shrija, please go ahead.
This SD, I learned that you really need to ask questions. And through the question of Team Credo Craft, I understood that you really need to explain what you're saying and elaborate it a bit.
Sorry.
Which part did you miss? Sorry, my network is really bad.
Oh, the last line only. Can you please repeat it again?
I learned that we really need to elaborate our answers.
Okay, I think she's facing some network issue. So who wants to go next? Yes, Shrija, you were saying that yeah, your voice got cut. Can you please come again?
Is it? Yeah, sure. So I was saying that it's really important
I think she was trying to say that it was important to, tell our concept in detail. And could you continue after that, Shija?
Yes,
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Shija,
Shrija,
you're on mute.
you're on mute.
audible now?
I
I
think
think
she's
she doesn't want to say anything else.
yeah, that is what Anjika covers it up. Great. Okay, let's move ahead. Who wants to go next for the reflection?
Yeah.
I will go next.
Great. Yes,
Okay, I will
Sheila.
go next.
Huh.
I will go next. From this Socratic dialogue, I got clear knowledge about what is conceptual model, and when I listen, create a craft pitch. So I have so many doubts that how this model is, how this model will be concept model. But in the conclusion, I got like a clear knowledge on that, like how it is going to conceptual model, and while listening that pitch, and I have some thoughts that so we can use this conceptual model, which is sustainability, in other perspective also. So I thought, like, I got thoughts like that. This was my reflection.
Thank you, Shri Lakshmi. So, yeah, Rahmat,
Yeah.
you are going next. Yeah, go ahead.
So in this Socratic dialogue, we were questioning about a questioning concept. So I think that was the best part, and also learning that there are many questions about how it is important to question. So I think I got a little clarity about that. That's it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Ramit. Yeah, I think I'll go with my reflection. So I'd like to go back a bit, right? When we were preparing for the Socratic dialogue, we had so many, terms. Like right now, we know we have clarity on what is a pattern, what is a concept, what is a conceptual model, what is a model. So we were trying to, that process of trying to understand each concept, the fundamentals, and then, building a model around it to understand that conceptual model itself. So it was, I think, a very informative journey, because this is the very core of all the, like, what is a model is the very core of all the things that we have, all the models, existing models that we have. And if we understand the core, then I think we'll be having a better understanding of various things that are there, like in business perspective or finance perspective, or on all various models that we have here, right? So for me, it was a very informative SD.
Thank you, Anjika. Same as me. The same. Sorry. Yeah, same. It was quite an informative session today, because, as I said in the starting, that that how we look models. We don't normally we look models at physics or chemistry lab, but when we go deeper, we can see that in depth the model are described in many ways, as you mentioned, that business perspective or conceptual perspective. And today we saw that one topic we took as a conceptual model, and we took in a very we look that model in a two very different ways. Once was that one was questioning the questions, and other was completely different, that how you are taking your clothes to a different journey, like how the concept was sustainability, and here the concept was understanding the things better by questioning them, right? So two different perspectives of a same thing. So thank you for this knowledge, and good night, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Good night, guys.